What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I'm Craig, and we're going to be going over the charts as usual. I do think there's a big dump coming. We could first see one more little leg up, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. If this certain area is broken in Bitcoin, then we could see much more upside, but I think it's more likely that we see much more downside. I've been talking about this for a while. We're going to look at some other reasons I believe this, so definitely stick around for the whole video. We're also going to be looking at Tesla. That was the overwhelming pick for yesterday, and if you want to see a different chart in tomorrow's video, all you have to do is leave it in the comments below what ticker you'd like to see, whether it be crypto, stocks, or whatever. So anyways, we're going to be getting into it. As you can see right now, it is pre-market, and the Dow is down 214 points, S&P's down 25, and Nasdaq's down 74. That doesn't mean that it's gonna continue down today. We still could have a little rally. Like I said, we could see one more upside. We're gonna be taking a look at the DXY area to watch too. So definitely, like I said, stick around for the whole video. And if you don't do anything else today, make sure you scroll down and smash those thumbs up. If you're watching it on Google TV or any of that, down in the bottom left hand corner, it says more options, and that's where you hit the like button. So, all right, let's begin. If you're not subscribed, make sure you do that. Make sure you tick your notification bell to get notified when I post new videos. I've been hearing from people that they're not getting notified, so make sure your notification bell is ticked. Yeah, let's check it out. So Dow futures are down, and as you guys know, we like to watch the Dow. We did get a rally yesterday, and like I said, we could see as high as 31.51. Now, if we get a daily close above this, that may change everything, but as of right now, still looking for more downside for the Dow. This bottom trend line here is going to be huge. If we break this, our target, our measured move target of breaking out of this rising channel right here, where we broke out right here, is around 27,000. Now that would say we break this 28.3. If we break that 28.3, we may come down to the 27, come back up and rally. And guys, this could take weeks. It doesn't mean it happens in a day, but we're looking at the big picture, right? So once this 27's broke, then my next target's all the way down to 23. And then we have our trend line down here about 20,500-ish, depending on if, when, and where it gets there. So, but if this breaks at any time, I do believe could be seeing another Great Depression. I've talked about this many times. Let's look at the DXY. So yesterday we looked at this 109.63 area. We did not quite hit it. We are bouncing now. That doesn't mean we don't come back down and retest this trend line though. So right now, if we came down today and tested this, would be around 109.9, 110 area. Every time we hit this area, we get a massive bounce, right? Every time. If we break below this, then we can start looking at more upside for Bitcoin. But until then, this does look, you know, we could continue from here without even retesting it. But nevertheless, if we do come down and retest this, I do believe we will get a huge bounce. Let's get into the daily on the DXY and look at our targets. So on the daily DXY, let me get these out of our way here. On the daily DXY, as you guys know, we've broken out of this big channel right here. Our measured move is about 122, right? We'll probably see another pullback up in here if we get up here. But once we get above this and get support, as you guys know, the big picture, looking at the weekly chart, I've been watching this. I've been bullish on the dollar for years. Everybody else has been super bearish, but as you can see, it's happening. The measured move for this rising or falling wedge that we broke out of is around 178 to 180. Yes, that's a new all-time high. I do believe that's very possible. Also, I want to stress this trend line right here. As you can see, we had a touch here and a touch here, a lot of touches here. We could not break. We touched it again here, had a pullback, broke it. Now I do believe this continues to be our support. And if we zoom in there, that does seem to be where we're getting our bounce. Could come a little bit lower, possibly 109.50, somewhere in that area. So nevertheless, sorry guys, I got something in my eye. bugging the crap out of me. Nevertheless, we are bullish here unless we break below this and get rejected and continue down. But as you guys know, I'm super bullish on the DXY. If you guys are interested in trading before we get into the rest of the charts, definitely check out Prime XBT, by far my favorite exchange. They don't trade against you. They help support this channel. And yeah, check them out. As you can see, 0 clients' funds stolen, right? 100 billion plus in volume. You can trade gold, silver, oil, S&P, Dow Jones, everything all from one exchange. You can have multiple longs and shorts in at the same time, so you can hedge your trades, unlike a lot of other exchanges. They don't throw the scam wicks out there. They don't trade against you. Definitely check them out if you haven't already. You can use my promo code SAVVY50. That'll give you a $7,000 bonus to use towards your margin. And Savvy25 will get you 25% off your fees. I do have a tutorial on my YouTube page. Definitely check it out. All right, let's take a look at the weekly. So on the weekly, we are above the VPVR, but we are getting rejected at the 8 EMA here. As you guys know, my targets for this are my first one being 14.5 to 15.5 range. I do think we hit that by the end of this month, unless we break past a certain point, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute. The big picture here is looking at this from the break of this trend line, measuring this as the flagpole. This is a bear flag. Bring it down, and we get around 3,800. Now, I don't think that's going to happen this year, although it could. If it does, then I believe we bottom this year. But otherwise, I have a false bottom theory, and that we will go over in a minute. But looking at this falling wedge in white here, looking at this as a 5-wave count on a falling wedge. Let me get those waves out of our way. And we'll kind of look at what's going on the daily, and then we'll zoom into the 4 hours. So on the daily, we've gotten above that white trend line, which was the top of the wedge. Right now, we are resting on it. If we do get another push up today, could be around the 20,844 range. If it's tomorrow, it goes a little lower, 20,800. If it's the next day, 20,750. This line lowers. If we get above this trend line here and come back down, test it for support, then we could get a massive rally. If this white trend line was correct, this is a super bullish case. I do not think it's going to happen, but I have to show it, because it is a possibility that we stay supported on this white trend line. Could get you as high as 48,400 area. Again, I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see. And looking at this falling triangle, the break of that 28.4 first resistance area, or I'm sorry, 20,850. The break of that first resistance area would get us up to around 26.7, which is the 200 EMA. Again, I don't think this is going to happen, but we do have to look at all possibilities. And the measured move of this falling channel or falling triangle would be about 36,000. If we can break 200 EMA at 27.6. But as you guys know, I think we're going to break lower here. And that target being on the daily, if we break this 18.2 area, obviously, we can test that support at 17.5, but I don't think that'll hold. If we get down there, I think that'll break right through to our 14 to 15.5, as I have marked here. But that measured move gets us also down to about 3,500. And that would be if it tests this bottom trend line here. Also, you can see it in the RSI down here. Again, we do have room for one more little push up here. If the daily gets above this and closes in the RSI above this trend line here, then we could be bullish. But otherwise, if we do get up here, which we don't have to, I think we'll get a rejection back down to retest this bottom trend line on the daily, which would line up here. And that would be sometime towards the end of this month, maybe into November. That would be a huge, fast capitulation. If that happens, I do believe it's possible that the bottom is in this year. Oh, we're going to be looking at Tesla at the end of the video. I forgot to tell you that. But all right, don't forget, before we go any further, make sure you scroll down, smash those thumbs up. I do have to remind people because a lot of people forget. So make sure you smash the thumbs up, subscribe, and leave your comments below. But So far, this is what I'm looking for, guys. If we have a false bottom, we'll talk about that. But let's look at this in the 4 hour now. And we're going to look at that triangle, right? So looking at that falling triangle in the 4 hour. I know this looks messy. We'll zoom in. Let me get the RSI off there. So we talked about that. Now let's look at where we're at on the 4 hour, right? So we zoom in here. We're also watching this rising channel. We do have a measured move of the breakdown of this rising channel. And if that happens in the next few days, that would get us around that 17.1 area. Again, that would break that 17.5, in my opinion. But of course, 18.2 is our major area to watch. Now, as you can see, we're getting a little bounce off that white trend line. Like I said, if that does hold, we could see back up to test this range somewhere in here, which if it got up there today would be around 20,800 or so. If it took another couple days, could be 20,733, right in there. But at any time, if we break this and get support, then yes, we could be looking for up to our first target would be the measured move of this rising channel. That would get us around 22.5. But again, as long as we're below this, there's nothing to be bullish about, guys. Don't get sucked into crazy bullishness when you zoom out. This isn't a big rally. This moved up fast. Every time we move up fast like that, it just drops down even faster. So just be careful there, guys. And again, let's take a look at our .com scam washout bubble pop and our Bitcoin crypto scam washout bubble pop. Still happening. As you can see, we talked about this. This top, this first big top was in April of 99. Our first big top here was April of 21. Second top, November 99. Second top, November 21. Bottom, January. First bottom here, January. Now, if you look here, see this big wick? This was October. So I do think we get down to our 14.5 to 15.5, get a big rally up, possibly. After that, get back up into this range, maybe test that 20,000 again or so, but then continue down. Now this bottom would put us at in April of 01. If we go to March or April, I would expect to be down to that 75 to 8,500 range, March or April. Again, that's if we don't bottom this year. I think this will destroy the 4-year cycle theory. And then we'll come back up, get a huge rally after that. Everyone will get super bullish again. It'll be 100%, possibly more like this. This was 100 and some percent. Doesn't look big, but when people are zooming in and getting all excited in the smaller time frames, it seems huge, right? So if that was to happen, maybe come back up, test that 14 to 15,000 range, and then come down for our low. I've showed you before, if you keep an eye on the weekly RSI trend line right here, once we broke out here, that was the false bottom. Got a big breakout. Sure, everyone got bullish because that was a weekly trend line. Came back down to retest it. If we pull this over, it will look something like this. We get a breakout of this weekly trend line, come up, get a false rally, come back down to make our low sometime in the middle or end of next year. Again, if that doesn't happen this year. All right, let's take a look at the macro. So in the macro, this is how macro bottoms form after a bubble pop. It took about 1.5 years down here, right? So there's plenty of time to buy down at the bottom if this is what's going to happen. So if this happens, probably this false bottom, everyone will be saying it's still the 4-year cycle, going to new all-time highs to make a new lower low. And then after that, then we can rally, right? But it still doesn't rally straight to the moon. This took 10 years to break the all-time high. I'm not saying it has to happen that way, but it is most likely. All right, let's take a look at Tesla. This is going to be real simple. All we did was we threw the fibs on here, and I'm going to show you where I put those real quick. So if we take your Fibonacci extension, you bring it up to this top here, right? And then you bring it down to this low right here, looking at that as an A. This is a B. Right here. It's just that simple. Keep an eye on this trend line. If we break this trend line, which is going to be probably, this is a daily chart, so maybe this week, maybe next week, that 235 range. Once that breaks, your next target is 211. Might come back up and retest this area before continuing down. But then I'm looking at the golden pocket zone about 183. Again, may bounce around in here. Guys, this could take a year. So I'm not saying it's going to happen in a day. But nevertheless, as you can see, all these drops, every time this pumped, people got bullish again. We've talked about that. That's how bubbles pop, right? So anyways, we do break this 183. Your next target's going to be the 0.786 at 151. And then you have your one-to-one extension. Now, if it gets a big bounce here, 106.92, and holds that, then we could be starting our next bull move. Again, timing is going to make a big difference here too. We'll be keeping updated on all this stuff. And again, I'm going to start doing my members videos again at least once a week next week. And we'll be going into more detail on this stuff. We keep the trolls out, that way I can do a live and actually answer questions and things like that. So if you guys are interested, the member is down below, member link. But we do have a free Discord too. I don't get in there as often as I used to, but I do post charts when I see something big, and it's totally free. Good group of people in there. Check it out. But anyways, 106. And if that one-to-one extension breaks, your next target is around 50 bucks. If you look at the VPVR on here, all these levels on these fibs show high volume nodes right here, right? All of them. And 50 is a huge high volume node. So could see in the next couple of years a $50 Tesla. I know it seems crazy, but look, this is a bubble, guys. Yeah. But first we have to see a break of this 235. We see a break of that 235. Look for 211. May bounce around in here for a while. Break at 211, you're looking at 183. Break at 183, you're looking at 151. Again, this is going to take time. Could take a year or so. We'll see what happens. As you guys know, I'm extremely bearish on the Dow, all markets right now. That could be a huge opportunity if it plays out. I've showed you this. This is the Dow Jones 1929 right here on the right-hand side. This is a huge opportunity zone if it happens. I know everybody wants to talk about your doom and gloom, blah, blah, blah. But actually, if I'm correct, this is a huge, huge, huge opportunity, guys. So anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget, smash those thumbs up. Leave your comments below. Leave what chart you would like me to look at tomorrow. The more, whoever says whatever the most. So if I get more saying, a lot of people have been talking about quant and things like that, but I don't care whether it's a stock or whatever. Whatever gets the most requests is what we'll put at the end of tomorrow's video. So again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave your comments. Share the video if you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you in the next